And we lose Mitch Moses too. What a night it was yesterday. Obviously finding out all the injuries. If you haven't caught up on all that, check out the Nathan Cleary is out video. We spoke about a bunch of them there. But Sorensen out as well. Not that he was too highly owned, but Moses obviously had a few owners and did really well on the weekend. And he's out for 8 weeks now, it sounds like, up to 8 weeks with a fractured foot. So not good news on that. I want to kick off this video here where we talk about the next 3 games impact. We're just discussing the buys over the next few weeks. And because a lot of our teams this week with the Storm bye and then a few injuries, a few guys that are likely to be moving out of the side in a Keeney, a Tuapiki who's out this week, who, Chance is back in the next couple of weeks as well. You won't be able to sell all of these guys. So it's a very high chance that next week you'll have 1 or 2 potentially guys that aren't going to be in their side and therefore out of your team. So that, let's just say that puts you down to 19. Let's say you have 1 Sharks player or 2 Sharks players. If you are going for Nico Hines, you have a Cam McInnes, something like that. That puts you another 1 or 2 down. So down to 17 or 18 in your squad. And then you're sitting with potentially, obviously, like a Sam Hughes, Levi, Kotrick, Strange, all these types of guys that you're probably not too super excited about playing on a week-to-week basis that you're going to have to play in your 17. So what I would suggest over the next few weeks, probably obviously this round 5, potentially round 6 as well, is trying not to purchase too many of those players from those 2 weeks. And I probably wouldn't buy any, to be honest, from the Sharkies or the Panthers for the next 2 weeks coming, just because of that reason. Because I think that in any other week, in any other situation where we don't have a lot of players out heading into this round and having to hold a couple following that, I just think that the follow-on effect is going to be a little bit too much if you do buy a Sharks player or a Panthers player now. And the situation changes all the time, and this is the situation we've been dealt right now, and it's what we have to deal with, and as I said, have to make changes accordingly. And I do think that's the best way to think about this, is to avoid any Sharks or Panthers players in the next 2 weeks. So, you could easily switch to an Isaiah Yeo, right? That could be a nice one to look at. You could go to Nico Hines. Cam McInnes is looking a bit juicy with a couple of forwards out. But I do think you're going to be caught out short in the next few weeks, whether you're taking a 15 or a 20 from your 16th, 17th man, 15th man maybe as well. Whereas other teams, if they don't have a lot of players from those clubs, if you don't have any Sharks at the moment, you just have the 1 Panther, like I've got Taylor May. Maybe you just have Isaiah Yeo. I think 1 will be fine. Maybe it's Liam Henry. It's someone like that. That would be fine. But you don't want to sell yourself short over the next few weeks with your 15th, 16th, and 17th man, because other teams will bypass you if they have a pretty strong 16 or 17 coming into these weeks, when a lot of teams are going to be carrying someone, at least 1, maybe 2 guys, and max trading over the next few weeks trying to get these guys out of their sides, then other teams will be able to bypass you. And if you're carrying those buy players as well, it's going to be very, very difficult. So I just wanted to kick it off with that in this one, guys, because there's so many players out from all of our squads at the moment. So let's kick it off with the next 3 games. And you've got the Tigers now. So as you said, they are done with their bye until round 13. Same with the Titans in this one as well. The Storm have the bye this week as well. So Tigers there, Eels, Dolphins, Dragons. So a pretty solid 3, I would say. I think the Eels should be able to beat the Tigers. They're playing very good footy at the moment. And it's the Eels away, if I'm correct with that. So that's obviously good news in this one. For the Eels, I do think it, obviously being at home, that can help them out. But so they almost could have lost that game on the weekend. Thank goodness it's home for them. And Dylan Brown's going to have to step up in that one as well. So for the Tigers, I do think it's a fairly solid matchup now that Moses is out. Cartwright's dealing with a few issues as well heading into this week. So just make sure that if you are looking at Tigers players in Appy and Galvin, that they're probably as far as it lies. I do think there's some ability for other guys to do well. But you did see Fainu on the weekend not score amazingly well with the minutes that he was provided. Some of the forwards' minutes were inflated as well in Stefano. So it's probably just those 2 Tigers you want to look at. Caesar will probably bank a little bit of money as well, but probably more in games where they are winning. So really solid couple of 3 games for the Tigers. And potentially Cleary's back for that round 7 clash as well. So yeah, a couple of tough ones in there in the Panthers and the Broncos in round 7 and 8. If the Tigers could do really well following that win on the weekend, then they can be good. A solid team to target for a couple of guys. But yeah, I think it's the main playmakers is where you want to look at. And outside of that, there will be games where they do struggle. And, these outside backs and the like score pretty low. For the Titans, I think we, for the most part, want to avoid them. We've got their forward pack, obviously, with Tino going down injured. There's going to be someone that benefits, but deciding who it is going to be really tough. Because Aaron Clark, we look at him, we go, wow, like his PPM is incredible. He just doesn't seem to get the minutes. The first 2 weeks he was getting 30 minutes. And on the weekend with Tino playing 35, Clark still played 33. So low. And, Randall's probably going to get some bigger minutes, but, him at 9 for a good portion of the game and then moving to the middle, he seems to be better in that just 13 role. He doesn't seem to score too well at 9. And then obviously picks up his scoring when he goes to 13. So there's that. Palacio, I don't like his output. There's a few guys you look at. Jamin Jolloff, I think, is probably going to be the biggest beneficiary. Probably play some decent minutes. And then Mo Fodawaker only played 40 on the weekend. And he should go back up another 10 or so minutes. So I do think it'll be spread around. Their minutes split on the weekend was really strange for a team that only had Tino play 30 odd. Fodawaker usually plays that 60 odd. But under Hasler, he's played 2 lower minute games. I think 48 and 40 these first 2 weeks. So maybe he goes up. And at the moment, he's too expensive to have a look at. So that's probably the only thing to think of with the Titans. A lot of people are super keen on Jaden Campbell. Just be aware, guys, they're playing terrible football. And there's only so much a player can do. Coming off a really bad injury, I would at least be watching him for 1 week before I selected Jaden Campbell. Although I understand that the wing fullback position is pretty tough this week, I would be worried about it, though. He could come out and dominate, but there's also the other way that he could go as well. For the Dolphins, obviously, they have a nice run there. Titans, Tigers, Broncos, potentially without Reece Walsh. We'll see how that one plays out. We'll see if Reynolds and the like are back there as well. But the next 2 weeks should be solid for the Dolphins. People looking at the hammer is a solid one. People ask me about Max Plath. I just do think he's very expensive compared to that of Supercoach and the like there. So worried about sort of the output that he can get. Can he get 45 to 50 every week with massive minutes? Not sure if he'll play big minutes every week. That's the thing with Plathy. But yeah, Hammer is an interesting one to target. Ewan Aiken we now have for a couple of weeks. So he's on the block now as a watch for an edge / center if you needed him. Just keep an eye on Aiken again after we forgot about him for the bye. Storm have a bye this week, so I do think you hold most of them. We did just get some news today, actually, from Bellamy's interview that it does sound like the Blory may be ahead of Chan now in the edge stocks, unfortunately, because of what he said. He goes, Blory played really well out there. The team was really happy with him. It does seem like we just need to give him a crack. That's what we did with Eli Katoa. Just give him some time out there and he'll get better. He'll work it out. He goes, I didn't expect him to be able to play that bigger minutes, and he was able to, and I was really happy with his output. So the comment about him, we just need to give him some time out there, that suggests that it looks like he might be the guy to start there. So you could go take that as you will. Hopefully Joey Chan's back next week, but if you are looking to trade someone around that price point, then Chan might be the play, considering there's a good chance he doesn't make the side in round 5. So go check out that Bellamy interview. Jessup posted it in their group there, and I just had a read of that. Just a written one. So that's that with the Storm. Hold Grant, hold Pap. It'll be fine from there. Eli Katoa, potentially a trade in round 5. Sharkies. So yeah, as I said, don't target any of those guys. Hold who you've got. Obviously, Hines, good captaincy option this week, considering everything is really dire at the moment. I'm going to do a standalone captaincy video this week because it's diabolical. No Cleary. Hines not scoring that well. Obviously, if you have him, but not, you will captain him, but not many people do. And then you've got, it's like, not many people have these super top tier guns. And then Cam Murray's carrying a bit of a knee problem. Sounds like he'll be fine to play, but it's something he picked up in the back end of last year, and he's still dealing with it. Bit of a degeneration, the cartilage kind of situation there with him. Dealing with some bursitis of the knee, which if anyone who's had bursitis of the shoulder, it doesn't sound like a fun thing at all. And obviously running on that, not good. Not good. But hold off on the Sharks. I think hold off on your Panthers unless you don't have any Panthers after trading Cleary and you're going to Yo. I think he's the only one to target this week in that Panthers side for sure. Luke Garner likely to come in as well for Sorensen, so he should do okay, but yeah, awkwardly priced a little bit, and it's only for a few weeks. Unsure if that's a terrific pick with a bye coming up. Jack Cole's the other one that gets likely 2 weeks. You'd imagine that Cleary comes back after the bye. If they didn't have a bye in round 6, I think Jack Cole, if he was to get the start, it's him or Snyder. Cole is an absolute ball-running beast, tackles hard, scored really well in the World Club Challenge when he played over there, so that's why I'd be suggesting that he comes in. But he did play with Cleary, not Luai. So do they want more of a organising 7, or will Luai move to 7, Jack Cole go to 6? That's what you need to look at with that one. But he should score well if he does start. He's at 230k, so have a look at him for sure. But yeah, just know it's a risky play, but if he scores well and goes 50-50, there's 100k right there. Bunny, so yeah, just look at how many you've got. If you've got Totola, if you've got Murray, these types of guys, I'm not super excited about their prospects over the next few weeks anyway, so I think you're just holding who you've got all the way through, potentially selling in round 7, unless they're super important to you. If Murray is doing really well still, then hold on to him. Outside of that, not too many to target. The doggies, you've got Bunnies, Roosters, Storm, Knights, and then they're buying round 8. So I do think we have a lot of Bulldogs players at the moment, and we probably want to offload 2 of them. If you've got sort of 4, at least get rid of 2 by round 8. And if it's Sam Hughes or something you're holding at that cheap price, it probably doesn't matter. But the other guys in the Salmons, Hutchos, these guys that have made a bit of money, they can make a bit more for a few weeks, and they might be sells from there. But so just hold your doggies at the moment. Eels. So this becomes interesting because who's going to come in and play 6 or 7? Is it Brown going to 7? Dejan Arce coming in? Most likely, that's the play. But Brown's got a high break even at the moment. I think you can wait 1 week on him. He just seems to be missing a few tackles and just not... he's getting try assists and the like, but just not scoring great at the moment. So he's someone I think you can watch for a week and see what happens. If you don't have any Eels outside of that, then he's a really solid pick all the way through. They got to buy round 9. That'll be fine to hold, and then you get him all the way through until round 16. So Brown becomes even more of an option with our boy Moses being out. Sad to see that for Moses with the fractured foot. Brown not a priority this week. I personally would go for Fogs over Brown, but I do think he's someone that when he's the main guy kicking and the like, he's gonna do really well on this side, like he did in the back end last year when he came back and Brown and Moses was out. So you're holding your Eels, guys. No one really to target apart from Brown at this stage. See what happens with like Blaze Talangi. Does he get into the 6 role? I imagine it'll be Dejan though. Raiders there, they have still a really good run, guys. They have their buy in round 10, so holding on to all of those guys. I don't think there's anyone really to buy at this point apart from Fogs if you don't have him. Guys like Smithies will eventually be a sell. It's not going to be this week, that's for sure, but over the next few weeks anyway. Hopefully plenty of base stats in the middle for our boy Morgan. Dragons, they have obviously a clean run all the way through to round 11. They play round 13 and 14 as well. So guys like Lomax, I do understand, could be a solid pick. Their forward pack's really hard to target at the moment, so I think avoid that. Some will do well, like Eisenhuth 1 week and then get a 30 odd the next week, and it's just going to be a bit painful at his price now. He's gone up a decent amount, near the 500k mark, but their run over the next 3 is pretty solid. Eagles, Knights, Tigers. Similar to that with the Raiders, kind of a solid kind of run here, and they'll be in games as well, which would be great. Knights there, they got the Wars, Dragons, Roosters coming up, so tough enough. You got 2 really tough ones. Dragons will be able to score some points, which is good. I think that there'll be some decent points in this Warriors one as well. Away, probably 20-18 type of score, 20-16, 24-14, something like that, depending who wins. I do think Warriors will. The Knights a better game on the weekend, which is nice. So if you're holding Ponga, if you need a wing fullback this week, Ponga's a good buy. Outside of that, Kaipi's Paul, someone to look at as well. You could definitely give him 1 more week. I do understand though if you want to jump the gun and go for him. He's still fairly expensive. It's $550, whatever he is. So he's looks really good. If he's going to get 80 minutes, he's going to get opportunities. He hasn't scored a try yet, and it could be coming soon. It could also just be a base stat guy, and maybe he misses the odd tackle and gets you somewhere around the 45 mark and makes some money with the odd game in the 50s. That's probably where we're looking at if he gets 80 minutes, but there's also some risk still that Lucas comes back and takes a few minutes off him. Unsure what they're doing with Frizzell longer term, so yeah, keep an eye out on that. And then the Broncos, they have a few injuries, obviously, but Cowboys, Storm, Dolphins. The big target this week is Pat Carrigan. I think he's one of the better captaincy options. We'll speak about him soon. Similar to that with like Tohu Harris, they're the two mids that are like the safest, I'd say, for good scores. So outside of him, you got Tristan Saylor. He comes in about $5.50, which is a frustrating price, and it might only be for 3 weeks. So do you want to be making those plays at the moment when we're double trading, and then you'll have to get rid of him as well? So that's something to think about. Then you've got the Eagles have Dragons, Panthers, Warriors. So Panthers without Cleary the following week would be cool. Tommy Turbo, a really good buy this week. Plays the Dragons, but away, and a really fun captaincy option as well. Again, we'll get into all of those shortly in another video after we get team lists done and dusted. So yeah, it's tough-ish, and then they've got Titans, Eels, Raiders, Dolphins. Not too bad through that middle section, but yeah, you got a couple to get through here if you're looking at buying Tommy. Warriors, Knights. They have the Knights, the Bunnies, and the Eagles. So yeah, kind of solid run over the next few, and then Dragons, Titans, Knights. So yeah, pretty good over the next 6, to be honest with you, when you've got Rabbitohs and Knights who aren't playing tremendously well at the moment. And then yeah, you get them all the way through to round 13. Same with the Broncos, same with the Eagles. And then you've got the Roosters. You get them all the way through to 14, which is massive. So if you're holding a couple of them, that works out well. There's some interest in like a Dom Young after his massive effort, but Panthers this week is a bit of a worry, that's for sure, as to if he can actually do well. But then the Dogs, Knights in that next couple. So Roosters, guys, hold on to what you've got. Like if you've got Satilli and you have lots of issues, you're just holding him again. If you don't have issues, then I think selling him is a good play. Cowboys have the Broncos, who are a bit decimated. We'll see what their team list throws up. Hopefully Cotter's still plays this week. And then Titans, Eels, Sharks. So a solid kind of 4 there for them. And they didn't have a buy all the way to 16 as well. So anyone you're holding out of them that isn't playing Origin, going to be great. Otherwise, they're probably still a sell in round 13 as well. So that's the next 3-game impact for all the teams, guys. We're obviously getting a little bit closer to the bye period now. So I will still suggest that if you do have a couple of different options, do have a look at where their buys lie over the next bunch of weeks, and then obviously through that start of the bye period as well. Because if you can get someone that's maybe has a buy in here somewhere, and then they don't have a next buy till round 16, which is what you see with the Sharkies, which is what you see with the Panthers, and you don't have Origin guys from those teams, then they're really cool buys because you get them in round purchases this week because you get them in round 13 and 14. So that's when you can start looking at these things just a little bit. Obviously, focus on cash generation and some points for now, but over the next few weeks, make those decisions as well. Don't take them lightly because they are really important. If you're actually looking to, they're a decent tier mid-ranger or a keeper. If you're looking to hold them longer term, then make that decision. If you're only looking to hold them for 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, then you're selling them around here anyway before the buy period, and these guys also could be holds then for round 13 or 14. If you're like, I could sell them, they're doing okay, they're scoring like 40, they've maybe their money, they're going to hold kind of their price, then you could hold for the first week or 2 of the buy period and then make your trade from there once they've got a couple of buys coming up or something like that. So that's what you need to look at with your trade-in targets from all these teams, and I'll continue, as I said, this video continues to be more important each and every week. And a big thanks to all of you guys for being here for this one. Thanks for watching the previous videos. Go check out the round results video as well. It's going by the wayside at the moment because of the Cleary news, but it does show me going through my team and what I'm planning to do at the moment. It was before the Cleary news, but still, it's lots of trades are going to have to be made over the next few weeks. So that's that one, guys. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you in the next one.